The Whispering Wind. Nikhil, an architect in Goa, always saw the world through a lens of logic. Struggling with the concept of a personal God, he believed only in a universal energy, but the idea of a divine personality eluded him. One day, while walking on the beach, Nikhil encountered a mysterious artist creating intricate sand sculptures. Each sculpture, remarkably detailed, seemed to tell a very big story. The artist, noticing Nikhil's intrigue, invited him to create one alongside. As they sculpted, the artist shared tales of each figure, imbuing them with distinct characteristics and emotions. The artist explained, just as these figures gain identity through their traits, so does the divine. A personal God is like a wind, unseen but felt through its manifestations. This metaphor struck a chord with Nikhil. As they continued sculpting, he realized how giving personality to the sculptures made them relatable and alive. It dawned on him that relating to the divine as a person could bridge the gap between abstract belief and personal experience. Days later, standing by his finished sculpture, Nikhil felt a profound connection. The sculptures were more than sand, they were vessels of stories, emotions, and personalities. He understood that a personal God could be a source of guidance, comfort, and a deeper understanding of life itself. What's the moral of the story? The divine, when perceived with personality, becomes a relatable and tangible presence in our lives, turning the abstract belief into a personal and enriching experience of life. Thank you so much for watching all of the videos so far. I hope that you have not just enjoyed, but you have also learned from all the videos that we have created for you in this course. Now, let's look at the final relationship, the topmost relationship that we have in our entire existence, the relationship with God or divine. And let's look at what chakra is this relationship correlating to, and what are the emotions, the positives, the negatives, the nature of this relationship, what is the role of this relationship in our life, and what actions we need to take in this relationship in order to improve the quality of this relationship, and as a result improve the quality of our entire life and our existence. Through this relationship, we will also be able to find the purpose of our life. Okay, we'll gain clarity and alignment to our divine purpose. So be prepared, and I hope you're as excited as I am. Let's get into it. So, the chakra that this relationship correlates to is called the crown chakra or the Sahasra chakra. Okay, in this there are two negative and two positives. The negatives are duality and conflict, which can be understood as a situation of disagreement or feeling torn between two aspects. And resolving these feelings can lead to inner peace and improved balance. The positive emotions are bliss and oneness, which is also a state of extreme happiness and feeling connected with everything. It can lead to a sense of fulfillment and purpose, enhancing overall wellness and well-being. So, since we are in the material world, and if we differentiate ourselves with everyone and everything around us, then obviously we are going to feel a lot of stress, anxiety, pain, tension, hate, fear, and all the negative emotions, right? But if we connect with God, with divine, with the supreme creator. You can name God with anything you like. But once we are connected with God, that is when we experience true bliss, the Satchitananda state, the omnipotent, the omniscient, and the omnipresent, which means the all knower, the all alive, all present, always immortal, and the all knowing, and the all blissful, the all happy, always positive, always blissful. So that is what we want to know and connect with. Now, it must be a little difficult for some unintelligent or unaware minds to understand what I'm speaking about here. And that's completely normal. It's okay. Just know that currently you are in that state. With time, you will evolve and become aware. If that was not the case, you wouldn't have gotten this information as well. Because all of this is also part of the divine game plan. Don't be scared. Don't be worried. I know I want to say something. Everything that emanates, good or bad, emanates from God. Okay? And God is genderless. Man, woman, male, female, everything comes from God. So, however you like, you can resonate with God and relate with God. It's up to you. Okay? So, what is the nature of this relationship? So, in this relationship, we have the element of bliss, we have the element of inner peace, and finally, we have the element of enlightenment, as if a very heavy load is lifted off us and we have become lighter. Okay, so these are the elements that make up the nature of this relationship, enlightenment. Okay, there are many ways through which you can understand the nature of this relationship in much more detail and depth, but we'll discuss about that in our silver, gold, and diamond memberships. For this particular bronze membership members, this much is good enough awareness. We can begin from here and we can start taking action. Okay, the next one is the role that this relationship plays in our life. So it plays the role of removing all blocks. And I will share a very interesting story when I talk about the growth actions on how it removes all the blocks in our lives. There's a very beautiful story I have that I have actually thought about in the last 10 years, and then I want to share that with you. You'll understand what I mean. Okay. The next one is purpose alignment. The guru helps you to get on this path, but the alignment happens because of God. God shows you that path and also helps you to walk on that path. You watching this video, there is something bigger than you that has prompted you to watch this video. It's not me, it's not you, it's something much beyond us. So be grateful and be thankful that you have reached to this point where you have this understanding. Okay, now the third one is balance. As a result of your connection with God, you will achieve balance in all areas of your life, in all relationships, with every relationship that you have. And then fourth one is have faith and belief. Through this relationship, you will learn the importance of faith and belief, and you will develop more faith and belief in everything that you do, in yourself, in all your other relationships, in your projects, in your actions, in your outcomes, in everything. Okay? Don't try to ask God that give me this, then I'll do that, and if you give me that, I'll do this. There's no point, because maybe God wanted to give you an aeroplane, but you have been asking, I want a car, I want a car, I want a car. So God will be like, okay, take a car. Instead, tell God that whatever it is that I am meant to have, I will get that. I understand that. I respect that. I have faith and believe in your decisions for me. I know that whatever you will choose for me will be the best. And with this understanding, if you go and approach God, You will get whatever is the best for you. Okay? Now, let's talk about the growth actions, in which we will discuss some nice, beautiful stories with some amazing examples. The first one is the invisible pipelines story. Okay? Which is basically also related to removing all the blockages, almost like a flush, where the ocean flushes us and helps us remove all the blockages and find flow. So what exactly happens is, as I mentioned previously, relationships are invisible pipelines that are going through us to others. So let's say you love someone and you have an invisible bond with them. So if I tell you you love someone, think of them, imagine their characteristic, anything. If I say just imagine them, then you'll start thinking of their name, their face, their expressions, their habits, their actions, their activities, their characteristics, their personality, the emotions that they express, their stories. All of these things start coming in your mind. Okay, so this is where you're actually relating to them. Now imagine the person you love is undergoing some kind of a painful situation. Now this painful situation, or let's say a negative situation. Now I'm going to call this negative situation as dirty water. Anything good, positive situation, I'll call as good water, clean water, drinking water. Now they have a bucket in their hand, and because of some reason, they have a lot of junk filled dirty sewage water in that bucket. Okay? Through this invisible pipeline, because you're connected to them, what is going to happen? You're going to start seeing that the dirty water is flowing through the relationship and reaching you. Now your bucket, if it is empty, it will start acquiring all of that negative junk sewage water. Okay, there is an even simpler way to understand this. It's as simple as they came to you and they gave you a bucket of dirty water, and you're holding that dirty water now and you don't know what to do with it. This is where the central relationship, the core relationship, the most important relationship, the relationship with God comes into the picture. Let's say you have a pipeline or you have an access to the ocean. When I say ocean, I'm talking about it metaphorically, because the ocean in this world is limited, although it's kind of like unlimited in comparison to our existence. But let's say it was a limited ocean, because again, we are in a limited world. So in this ocean, if you drop a bucket of sewage water, will the ocean get dirty? The ocean will not get dirty. If you take out a bucket of good fresh water, not fresh water because ocean will have salty water, but if you take one bucket of water which is clean water from the ocean, will the ocean become smaller? The ocean will not become smaller. So this relationship with God helps us in this exact manner, so that we can have much more deeper experiences in our life. So what do we do? What do I do personally? Whenever someone gives me sewage water, I take it, I accept it. I'm like, okay, maybe God wants me to experience this right now, so it's going through me. I take it and I give it, I surrender it to God. I'm like, okay, this was not ever mine any which ways in the first place. So this was yours, so I'm giving it to you back. And I put it in the ocean. And I keep my bucket empty. Someone gives me clean water. I take that, I'm like, thank you God that you gave me this beautiful clean water. This was not supposed to be with me. This is not mine. This is yours. I give it back in the ocean. Let's say someone wants good water from me. I go to the ocean. I'm like, God, I need one bucket of good water so that I can share it with this person, because they're looking for this good water. And I take one bucket, bring it back. And in this way, I ensure that my bucket is almost always empty and open to newer experiences. But I'm doing the job of the tool, bucket as a tool over here. Okay, so I'm doing the job of the bucket or the tool and exchanging all these sewage waters and clean waters, basically good and bad emotions and energies. Now, there's also an interesting element that comes up over here. What is this good bucket, good water, bad water? What is this element? What is this pure water you're taking from ocean? What is happening over here? So the concept of karma comes into the picture at this point. Imagine you had a whiteboard. Okay. On this whiteboard, you wrote with a red color pen. Let's say whatever you're writing with red color pen is bad karma. Whatever you're writing with green color pen is good karma. The goal of our life is to erase everything on the board. But how do we erase everything on the board? Okay? How do we erase everything on the board? That's the question. And I will very soon help you unlock the answer to that question. Let's look at the second one, which is giving God a form. It's extremely important that you give God a personality, a form. You can give it any form or personality you like. In the Hindu gods, we have crores of gods. Okay. In all other religions also, there is some god or the other. But see, when you relate with universe or energy, it's very difficult for you to have an exchange. Remember, we were talking about in the previous relationship that whatever you focus your mind upon, you start manifesting that. Let's say you love someone a lot and you're thinking about their qualities, maybe they did something that you liked a lot. Subconsciously, you start acting like them. How? Because you're thinking so much about them, and that is what your personality is becoming. Same way, if you think about energy and universe, what will your personality become? Nothing. Because you don't know about the characteristics and everything. So you are not able to relate to that depth. That is where you need to develop a relationship with God. And in order to develop a relationship with God, God has to be in the same form as you are, as a human. But then almost no human is able to set that expectation, that ideal case scenario for us. That human should have both the qualities of God as well as human. That human or that God should be able to fulfill all these 7 relationships to the fullest capacity for every other human, right? Because let's say you're stuck in the relationship with your parents. Let's say you don't have a parent. At that time, if you are able to relate with God and imagine God playing the role of that particular relationship, of your parent, will that not give you that experience that you're seeking? That is why giving God a personality or a form is very, very important. Okay. We'll look into prayer next, but before that, let's explain this a little bit more deeply. So what are the ways in which you need to understand God's personality? What are the different ways that you can understand God's personality? First is just the personality itself, the physical appearance, the name of God, not different from God. The name of God is not different from God. The name, the language, whatever you feel comfortable with, wherever you can relate in the best possible way. Next, characteristics of God. You need to learn and develop a sense of the characteristics of God. For me personally, I can share with you that I had chosen Krishna because whatever I was seeking, I found all of those traits in Krishna. For you, it can be Jesus, it can be Allah, it can be Guru Nanak, it can be anyone. Okay? Whoever it is, they should be able to fulfill all of the characteristics in the best possible way. Good, bad, all relationships they should be able to play. They should be able to be present with you whenever, wherever, however you require them to be. It can be Ganesha, it can be Shiva. But the reason I didn't choose these gods as the primary god for me was because I felt like I can't imagine myself putting a hand around the shoulder of Shiva and be like, hey, what's up, dude? But if I have to think the same way with Krishna, it's easy. With Jesus also had an element of too much respect, so the boundary was too much. I could not imagine Jesus to be a chilled buddy having fun with me and all that. But with Krishna's stories, okay, and all the other different stories that I heard about Krishna, I was like, okay, so this can be God because I am able to imagine myself in any way with this personality. That is why I chose Krishna. Okay, this is not me trying to tell you that you also need to choose Krishna. It's up to you. It's completely fine. Whoever you want to believe in. This is just me sharing my experience with you. Okay. The next one is their qualities. What qualities does your God have? You need to have an understanding of that in depth. The behavior of the God. And then finally, the abilities of your God, of our God, of all gods, whoever the God is that you want to relate with. You need to know and understand all of these different elements about the God. Okay, it will help you in a simple way. If something, if any other relationship of your life has some negative element, because we are in the dual world, right? So through this relationship with God, you can experience the positive of that, because God will play that relationship to the fullest capacity. Okay, next, prayer. This is a very important action that we need to take in this relationship to develop a stronger relationship with God. What exactly happens if you love someone? You're always thinking of them, you're always taking their name in your head, you're always imagining their face in your head, their expressions, their stories, and all that. What are you doing? You're praying to your lover in a way. But what if you could pray to God, who's ideal in nature? Okay, not IDOL, IDEAL, ideal. Some people consider Michael Jackson as God. Some people consider Steve Jobs as God. These are all human beings with a lot of limitations. So we'll never be able to overcome their realities, right? We want to express ourselves to the fullest level, to the extreme most level. That is why having God in the place of God is important, so that we can reach the epitome of our experience and our life and our existence. Now, at this point, I will explain to you how you can do prayer. You can do it as a community. If there are other people who believe in the same God as you and you connect with them, this helps because it strengthens your reality. If you believe in something and others also believe in it, it gives you a sense of security and calmness, and belief and faith improves. And as a result, you're able to go much more deeper, and they share what they see in terms of the stories, characteristics, personalities, behaviors, qualities, etc. You share your experiences, and as a result, you have more deeper experiences about that God, and understanding about that God, and acceptance about that God. The next one is chanting. So this is where, in the point of chanting, I wanted to bring back the whiteboard, writing with red color pen, green color pen, and karma. How do we erase the whiteboard so that it becomes empty, white, blank? That is the goal of our life, so that we don't have to take birth again, we don't have to die again, we don't have to undergo all of this pain again. The way is through chanting. Chanting is like a duster, like an eraser. Okay? What it does is, every time you're chanting, you're getting closer to God. And when you're getting closer to God, you know that all of your actions are actually surrendered upon God. And as a result, you slowly start wiping away the red marks and the green marks and overall all the marks, and you become free from the bondage of life and death. You go back into your eternal existence, your eternal presence. That happens through chanting. But now you may ask, why chanting is the way? Why not some other way? Let me explain. So what exactly happens is the mind needs to be leashed, because the mind has all the desires. It wants to stay, enjoy, have pleasure. It has all these unfulfilled desires. So we need to help the mind fulfill all the desires. One simple way is surrendering all the desires onto God. Whenever you have a desire, you don't choose what desire you want to have. So how can you choose to fulfill that desire? If someone bigger than you gave that desire to you, then obviously that bigger has to fulfill and help you complete that desire, right? Like basically fulfill that desire, right? But we can't develop this understanding so easily, because the mind is always like in the future or in the past, running here and there and jumping here and there, right? So at this point of time, what we do is we leash the mind to the present moment, and we become empty, and we become white slated, whiteboard, where there is nothing on it. And in order to do so, we have chanting. Now, what is happening in chanting? So I personally chant a particular mantra, and this mantra has to be chanted out loud. You can chant any mantra of your choice, it's up to you. I personally like to chant the mantra that I got when I got initiated on the path of divinity and enlightenment, which was Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Now this is the mantra that I inculcated in my life, and I also realized when I went to Art of Living, and when I went to Isha Foundation, and I went to Brahma Kumaris, and I went to churches, and I went to mosques, I went to Gurudwaras, I went to different places to try and understand like what exactly is happening, why this mantra or that mantra. So I realized that this mantra has a particular breathing pattern attached in it. It's embedded. The breathing pattern is embedded inside this mantra. And that breathing pattern is in 3 parts. It has like slow breathing, medium breathing, and fast breathing. So whenever you experience any kind of emotion, if you're angry, you breathe in a certain pattern. You can imagine the next time. Whenever you are happy, you breathe in a different pattern. Whenever you are sad, you breathe in a different pattern. What ends up happening is, because the way we are living, the life that we are living in, we are not allowed to express all of the emotions, maybe sometimes good, maybe sometimes bad emotions. We are not allowed to express these emotions. Because we are not allowed to express these emotions, they get stuck within us, and our energy is not able to freely flow. But when we chant this mantra, we reverse the expression, which means that if you breathe in that pattern, if you breathe slowly for a certain period of time consciously, followed by medium breathing, followed by very fast breathing, you can release all of these emotions also. They work both ways. When you have an experience, you breathe in a certain way. When you breathe a certain way, you have an experience. So when I started chanting, this was the first experience that I got, and I understood that, okay, I'm actually releasing all the stuck emotions within me, and I'm becoming empty and open and receptive to all the experiences around me. That is the first thing that happened. Next, I was involving all of my 5 senses while I was chanting. I was chanting on a mala, on a bead. There were 108 beads. So when I was chanting, I was touching the beads and I was pushing it back. So acupressure was also happening, and it was activating the nerves and the flow and circulation of blood within my body. Okay, so touch was getting accessed. Taste, because I was chanting through my mouth, my tongue, which is the sense through which I taste everything around, like whatever I'm eating, I taste that through my tongue, right? So that taste element also was getting activated. I was getting a taste of chanting. Next, when I was chanting, I would make sure that I light up some kind of an incense stick. Nowadays, incense sticks are also like kind of polluting in nature, so you can take like dhoop batti or cow dung cakes or something, some kind of an element that helps you to activate your nose. And any which way, since you're breathing in a particular pattern, your nose is anyways activated. So the breathing, the smell sense is also getting activated. Then I would close my eyes and imagine the personality of God and their pastime, Radha and Krishna in Golok Vrindavan, enjoying, strolling around, having fun, playing, the gopis around them, the cows around them, playing the flute, the gopas. So all of these things I'm imagining when I'm chanting. So even my eyes are getting focused on God. And finally, I'm chanting out loud. Not extremely loud. I'm not like Hare Krishna. At a tone where I can hear my own self. At a sound, at a volume where I can hear myself. Through which I was activating my ear also. And through these combined actions, bringing them back and leashing them back to the present moment, I was able to gain control over my mind. I'm not saying I have complete control over my mind still. It's going to take a lot of time and effort. This entire life I'm dedicating for this particular purpose. But to whatever degree, to whatever capacity, I started doing this activity every single day. And as a result, I can see a huge difference in myself. Okay, these are my personal experiences that I'm sharing with you. If you feel, if you believe that I need to understand something that you understand better than me, please go back into our community and write a message to me. I'm more than happy to accept your thoughts, your experiences also. I'm not trying to impose these thoughts on you. I'm just sharing it with you because there's a possibility that one of you who's watching this video does not have this experience or does not even have a, what do you call this, any kind of an idea to understand this also, right? So I'm just sharing my story and my experience so that you can understand. Okay, I do not want to focus on this God element as a religious element and reject anyone. I love all people, all human beings in all religions, because I know for a fact that God is empowering you to think in a certain way. Then who am I to reject you? If God has created you, then who am I? So I accept you and I love you and I respect you for who you are. I'm just sharing my experiences with you, hoping and praying that it somewhere acts as a guiding light for you in your life. Okay, now the next one is spiritual study. There are a lot of books, there are a lot of courses, lessons, audio discourses, video discourses nowadays, live discourses. So what you can do is you can attend all of these, you can listen and read and watch, and as a result you can develop your spiritual understanding. The right spiritual gurus will help you to develop this in a better way. And then finally, immerse yourself in nature. Try and see what is the purpose of nature. If there is day, why is there night? Why did God create duality? Okay, try and contemplate. So how I see this world in simple ways is that there is a real world. Since everything in this world has duality and we are living in a world which is dual itself, and if everything is dual in nature, then there must be one more world which is singular. In this singular world, in that single world, we are seeing ourselves in clean, still water. But when we are seeing ourselves, we are not only seeing ourselves, we are also seeing the water. So this is a reflection of our true self, but mixed with the element of the material world, which is the water. That is where the dual element is coming. And in order for me and for us to go back to that singular world, we need to understand what is the core of our existence. And if every experience that we are having in our existence is somewhere or the other related to relationships, that means we have a relationship with God. And he or she or whoever that is has sent us here on this planet so that we can practice all of these relationships like a school, and we can experience the flow of energy through us and through all of these relationships. And as a result, when we go back with our free will that was given to us, if we didn't have free will, then let's say I give you a robot which doesn't have any free will and follows all your instructions. You can't love that robot. Even if you can love that robot can't love you back because it doesn't have free will. Only with free will you can have that shared experience of love. So God also wanted us to have that relationship with him or her in that manner, and that is why he or she gave us the element of free will. And if you have reached this far, then you will understand that you need to use this free will to enhance the quality of all your relationships and give 100% and ultimately focus on the relationship with God. See God in everyone around you, in everything around you. And as and when you become of the same quality of God, water can't mix with oil, right? Because they are of different qualities. But if you focus your attention, your energy, your mind, your being, your existence, your presence, your experiences, everything on God, you become of the quality of God. And as a result, when the time comes for you to leave this world, then you will be able to merge back with God. And then you will be able to play the relationship that you were meant to play with God. So this is what I had to share with you through these 7 relationships. And I hope that somewhere I was able to help you understand the meaning of your life. If you found any kind of value in this, I request you, please help me in fulfilling my purpose. Go to Trustpilot, Google Reviews, or go to any other community of your choice and invite other people to join our community. If you drop a 5-star, people will be interested to see what we are talking about. They'll be curious. You will also get some karma clearance. I will also get some karma clearance. And together we'll be able to build a better, stronger, much more powerful community. Okay? That's my aim. That's my wish. That's my prayer. That's my hope. That's the reason for my existence. That's the purpose for my existence. So I am so grateful, so thankful that I've been empowered to create this course up until this point. And beyond this, I know and I believe that you will help me and support me in taking it far beyond this place. Thank you so much for allowing me to serve my purpose. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, and your patience. Because I know sometimes in this course I might have spoken some random things here and there. Please forgive me if I have made any mistakes throughout this course. These were all my experiences that I've shared with you. All due credits can be seen on my website. I've created a specific page called FyndFlow.com/credits where you can see all the sources of my information, all the books, all the courses that I've read through which I've come up with all of these lessons and this structure. Okay, all the templates, everything, all the links, I will drop it down. If you disagree to anything, if you have any conflict of thought or opinion or anything, you don't feel aligned, you don't feel that you resonate with this, let me know. And in the upcoming versions of this course, I will try to incorporate it if it is something that I resonate with as well. Okay, just like you, even I have freedom of choice, so I'm not just gonna randomly accept whatever you say, but if it does make sense, I will be so thankful. I will take your message as God's message and I will improve upon this course. Okay, so thank you so much. And in the next video, which is the final video, I will share what actions you need to take to become an active member in the community, unlock all your gifts, gain access to amazing resources, and become an active volunteer and active participant in our community. And not only grow your own life, but also help others grow their life and become one person more in my journey, and help me and help yourself and help everyone around elevate the state of their consciousness and being. Okay. Thank you so much once again, and I'll see you in the next video. I'll try to keep it short and sweet. Thank you so much for your valuable time and resources. I'll see you in the next one.